I love Benarish. It's the best. Okay. Oh, too crazy. Dad, face the other way. Esainai el heharim me'ayin yavo Ezri. Esainai el heharim me'ayin yavo Ezri. Ezri me'im Adonai Oseh shamayim va'aretz. Ezri me'im Adonai Oseh shamayim va'aretz. Ayiten lamod raglecha, ayanum shomrecha, hine lo yanum velo ishan, shomer Yisrael. Adonai shomrecha, Adonai tzilcha, al yad yeminecha. Adonai shomrecha, Adonai tzilcha, al yad yeminecha. Yomam hashemesh lo yakeka ve'yareach balayla. Adonai yishmorcha mikol ra, yishmor et nafshecha. Adonai yishmor tzedcha uvoecha me'ata ve'ad olam. Adonai yishmor tzedcha uvoecha me'ata ve'ad olam. Al mekoma tavo v'shalom. We begin with the chanting and now translation of a psalm. This is Psalm 121, known as Shir LaMa'alot in Hebrew, which is a song for ascents. I turn my eyes to the mountains. From where will my help come? My help comes from Adonai, from God, maker of heaven and earth. God will not let your foot give way, your guardian will not slumber. You see, the guardian of Israel neither slumbers nor sleeps. God is your protection, your guardian at your right hand. By day the sun will not strike you, nor the moon by night. God will guard you from all harm. God will guard your life. God guards your going and coming now and forever. May Miriam go unto God in peace. Hatzur tamim, Paulo kichol dracha mishpat, el emunah ve'navel, tzadik v'yashar hu, tzadik at Adonai, lamidu lahachayot, asher b'yadcha v'gadon kol ruchot, chalil lecha zichroneinu limchot, v'yihiyu na'einecha, v'rachamim aleinu fekuchot, ki lecha Adon harachamim ve'aslichot. Adonai natan v'Adonai lakach, yehi shem Adonai mevorach. God gives, God takes, blessed be the name of God. Vehu rachum yechaper avon v'lo yashchit, v'hirba la'shiva po v'lo yirko chamato v'yashov he'afar al haaretz shehaya, ve'aruach tashuv el ha'elohim asher netana. The dust returns to the earth as it was, but the spirit returns to God who gave it. May our beloved soul be bound up in the bond of life eternal, and may God send comfort to those who mourn and grant strength to those whose burden is sorrow. Thank you everyone for coming, for being here with us here at the Shaarey Zedek Cemetery as we gather today, family and friends and community, to honor Miriam Mandel. Miriam bat Shmuel Halevi V'chana, the daughter of Anna and Samuel Lazarek. Zichronam livracha, of blessed memory. By coming together here this afternoon, we are showing Miriam the ultimate respect in Jewish tradition of accompanying her here to her final resting place. We're here to celebrate and pay tribute to her life, but also painfully to say goodbye. Miriam passed away Tuesday, the 21st day in the Hebrew month of Elul, at the age of 83. She is survived by her family, her son David and daughter Emily, her grandchildren Adelina, Devorah, and Yehuda, great-grandchildren Dina, James, and Vesna, her brothers and sisters-in-law Mel and Karen, Jack and Zena, Arnold and Libby, as well by her many nieces and nephews. Miriam was predeceased by her parents, Samuel and Anna, of blessed memory. Zichronam livracha. I know Emily is going to deliver a hesped, a eulogy, in a moment. I just wanted to share a few introductory remarks with you. I had the pleasure of meeting Miriam this summer through my work at the Simkin Center, where I work as a rabbi, and she came to join us as a resident a few months ago. And I specifically use the word pleasure because my experience of meeting her, I'm sure, was very similar to anyone who knew Miriam in any capacity, whether it was through family, through her years as a cashier at Safeway, maybe someone who knew her when she was a hostess and cocktail waitress at a club in California. Anyone who met her or crossed paths with her, I'm sure, would describe meeting Miriam Mandel as a pleasure because she was personable and fun. She was very naturally good with people and easy to like. She had a great sense of humor. I could tell immediately she was a character. Feisty, funny, great energy, great personality. As Karen said perfectly, Miriam was unique in every sense of the word. She was fiercely independent and definitely could be stubborn. She wanted to do things on her own terms, marching to the beat of her own drum, nobody else's. And if you wanted to irritate her, just tell her how she should do something. That would do it. She'd be just fine on her own, thank you very much. Blessed with an irreverent spirit, She was proud, very proud, but still definitely owned her own mistakes. It's no wonder that she and I, and really so many people, got along with her. When Miriam was young, and still Miriam Lazarick, she developed a bit of a reputation, I'm told, for being kind of tough. Not that she went around picking fights, but she didn't back down from them. And she would proudly boast that she was the second toughest girl at Queenston School. You can find out later on who was the toughest. She was also a very competitive and talented swimmer. Loved the water. Among all these traits, it's also very important to mention that Miriam was very thoughtful, kind and considerate. She loved animals, all animals, but especially cats. She loved kids. Mel told me Miriam had no mean bones in her body. None. She never forgot a birthday or anniversary of anyone in her extended family. Even great nieces and great nephews could count on a card from her every year on their birthdays and a gift. As a mother, I was told she was full of love. She loved and gave until it hurt. Miriam lived a life. She was married at 18. She lived in Saskatoon. She lived in Los Angeles, where she uncovered her truly glamorous side. She lived for a while in Israel, and she spent much of her time back here in her home in Winnipeg. She lived with an impressive work ethic. She never had trouble getting or keeping a job. You could never call her lazy. In fact, Miriam really worked all her life, most notably at Safeway, as we said, where she was absolutely beloved by regular customers and by her colleagues. Miriam, as we said, never had trouble getting along with people. It's worth noting, actually, even though her marriage to Oscar ended in divorce years after their split, she maintained a warm and caring relationship with him at the end of his life. Miriam's passing this week was sudden and shocking. Her family, those of us at the Simkin Center, everyone are really still reeling from the news of just a few days ago. At Simkin, it's especially painful to say goodbye because it felt that she was really just finding her way, hitting her stride. After a few months, she was making friends. She was figuring out who she didn't like as well. She was constantly getting visited by family. She was really settling in, feeling at home. It seemed that for Miriam, in the time that I knew her, she had rediscovered the parts of life worth living. Thankfully, then I guess we could say the Simkin Center was a bright spot at the end of her life. If she was in any suffering or pain, may she now be at peace, and may Miriam's memory be a blessing. Emily, please.
Thank you, Rabah.
Of course.
Beautifully spoken.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. I gave a lot of thought to what I would say about my mother, and I really don't like public speaking, even in front of family. So I'm just going to say really what's in my heart. And I had a conference call last night with my kids about what they wanted me to express from them. So basically, stories, memories of my mother. I have a lot of memories of her, incredible memories that are not shared with my family in Winnipeg because they were Los Angeles, California. I was a child of the 60s, and my mother truly was glamorous. And we lived during the greatest period in rock and roll. And my mother gave us, me and my brother, a deep love of music and adventure. She taught us both, I would say, really to be fearless. My mother, as the rabbi, wherever he is, said, my mother was not afraid of anything. And she was a very innocent sort of person. As my Auntie Zena remarked on, she was really a pure, innocent sort of person. Not that she was so brave, but she just didn't see bad. And she was lucky that she didn't experience too much bad in her life. One of my best memories of my mother was when she taught me how to swim. and I was 3. And she used to take me and my best friend to Santa Monica Beach all the time. We would go to the beach at least once a week during the summer and spring and whatever. And then we would all go out for hamburgers after, and she gave me a big love of nature. She used to take us hiking, of animals. My mother was incredible when it came to animals. I love animals, but my mother was like, you couldn't kill an animal or an insect either. It was a huge crime. One time we had skunks stuck in the walls where she was living, and I'm like, Mom, we need to get an exterminator. She's like, no, you cannot kill them. It's cruel. And so my mother, I would say some of the things of so many things that was outstanding about her was her compassion. Her sense of adventure was great, but her character trait of compassion, and also she was extremely humble, and she looked for the good and saw the good in everybody. She was extremely generous. And so these are the things I remember and think of when I think of my mother. And I think of, well, Mom, you're an inspiration to me. And there are things I wouldn't do that you've done. And really, I salute you for that, Mom. My kids said to me that one of the things they remember, besides how much they looked forward to her visiting them in Israel, and how excited they were all the time going out, was they were always there, like, for, when during the school year, when she was with them, for their homework. She would get up at 7 o'clock in the morning and make sure my daughter did her homework. She would get on her to do her exams. And honestly, I wouldn't have finished college if it wasn't for my mother. So there's one last thing I want to say. She deeply loved our family, all of our family. She was extremely close with Karen. She thought of Karen like a sister. Where is Karen? I'm very grateful to you, Karen, for everything you did for my mother. She was extremely happy at the end of her life, and thank you. And that's about it.
That was a beautiful eulogy, Emily. Thank you so much for sharing those memories with us. We'll now chant the El Malei Rachamim, the traditional memorial prayer in honor of Miriam. El Malei Rachamim, Shochein B'Meromim, Hamsei Menucha Nechona, Tachat Kanfei Hashchina, B'malot Kedoshim Uteorim, Kezohar Arakia Mazirim, Et Nishmat Miriam Bat Shmuel Halevi Vechana Shelcha Leolama Began Eidente Menuchatan Abal Harachamim Hastirea Beseter Kenafecha Leolamim Utzror Bitzror Achaim Enishmata Adonai Hu Nachalata V'tanuach B'shalom Amishkava V'nomar Exalted, compassionate God, grant infinite rest in your sheltering presence among the holy and the pure to the soul of Miriam Mandel, who has gone to her eternal home. Merciful One, we ask that she find perfect peace in your eternal embrace. May her soul be bound up in the bond of life. May she rest in peace. And let us say, Amen. Thank you again, everyone, for being here with us. They say that when a family is thrust into mourning by showing up, by sending messages, by calling, reaching out, you join your hearts together with theirs to give them courage and strength during a truly difficult time. So thank you again for doing that. In a moment, we'll recite the Mourner's Kaddish and conclude by the familiar ritual of shoveling earth into the grave. The family will lead us, but everyone here is invited to participate. This is an extension of these opening remarks we made, that to accompany someone to her final resting place is really the ultimate form of respect, and then to extend that, we believe in Jewish tradition to bury our loved ones ourselves with our own hands that held their hands. Some people even actually ask me, can I just grab the dirt? Absolutely. Most people use the shovel. Most people pour 3 shovelfuls of earth. But there are different customs. Some people use the front of the shovel. Some people use the back of the shovel as if to express disapproval with God. Some people turn it midway. Some people, when they finish, they return the shovel to the earth as if not wanting to pass on a burden to someone. Some people will pass the shovel. I always say the custom with which you're familiar, or the explanation that resonates with you, you should embrace. Always the goal is to infuse meaning into these timeless and familiar rituals. If you want to participate, but you're not sure about using one of the bigger shovels, you can see right next to me there's a pail, and here there's sand, a small shovel, and people can participate that way as well. One of the reasons why sometimes people don't pass the shovel to the next person in line is they perceive it to be a burden, a painful act, which it is. But we remind ourselves that it's ultimately an act born of love and compassion to honor someone who meant a lot to many people. So something to keep in mind. After we're concluding here and we're finished at the cemetery, there will be a meal of consolation at Ray and Jerry's restaurant on Portage Avenue near Polo Park, where you can console the family and continue to share stories and talk about Miriam. So thank you again, and for now let's turn to the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabah, be'alma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon uchayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabah mevorach le'olam u'lalmei almaya. Yiparach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar, v'yitalev, v'yitalal, shmei dekudsha, brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama Rabah min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the one who creates peace and harmony on high bring peace and harmony to us, to all Israel, and to all humanity. As again together we say amen. And to the family we offer these words, Hamakom yinachem etchem betoch she'ara ve'lei tziron v'Yerushalayim. May you be comforted and consoled among all those who are or who have ever been in mourning in our community. Thank you again, everyone. I invite family members to come forward and to lead us. Shabbat.